If you're a Hearthstone player, there's one update the game has to do in order to make you absolutely terrified. And that is making a new game mode in Hearthstone. It feels like every single time that Hearthstone decides to come out with a brand new game mode, it seems like there's something missing. There's just something that's not being told to us. There's like some kind of underground secret that's happening. And today I'm here to complain about what's going on with the arena, essentially. Now, I feel like Zeddy already did a great job explaining what's going on with the arena, how the econ has been destroyed, how you really can't play the game mode, use that resources from the game mode in order to keep playing the game. And that's literally been the entire point of arena, is to use your resources in order to get more resources, so that way you don't have to spend money in order to buy, arena tickets. But it seems that Hearthstone does, in typical Hearthstone fashion, it does this thing where, hey, they're listening to our feedback. We've been listening closely to your feedback on the arena experience. Our team is actively working on updates that better align with how you love to play the game. And yes, that includes changes to gold rewards. I'm sorry, but this should have been obvious from the very beginning, and I really hate to say it, but this is a prime example on why some people believe that Hearthstone is doing everything in its power in order to see how much it can get away with in terms of taking away resources from the player before the players start to notice. Because apparently, the reason why this was even made, why I think this post was made to begin with, is because Reddit has been absolutely talking a lot about this game mode and how they are not happy with the rewards. They're not happy with all the bot accounts that are in the game and are making it very difficult to find an actual player that doesn't have an insanely good deck. In case you guys aren't aware, since the Chinese server went down, there's been a black market, essentially, an underground black market for Hearthstone accounts, where they literally get a free-to-play account. They boost it up with a bunch of gold by just, farming quests and stuff like that. And then they sell that account with a bunch of gold to somebody who wants to really play arena. And now you have essentially these barcode accounts where it's a gibberish name and you can't help but go up against them because they are so common and they are literally the only people that can apparently afford the game mode. Now, I'm not here in order to talk about what exactly is going on because this information is here, but what I am here to talk about is this trend that I am absolutely sick of seeing in Hearthstone, and I have the chart. If you ever are confused about what's going on in Hearthstone, literally just look at this chart, and I feel like it's absolutely perfect. Hearthstone releases a new game mode, and then suddenly players figure out that that new game mode has economy that is not beneficial to the free-to-play player whatsoever. If anything, it is taking away stuff from players, and now they can't even engage in the game modes that they are interested in. And then Hearthstone will continue this loop by saying, oh, we've listened to your feedback and we've changed yada yada yada, when they should have known from the very beginning that this was going to be a problem. And then you have the next step on focusing on maximizing profits by actively taking things away from free-to-play players, and or I should have added this onto the post, either that or asking for pre-orders. It feels like we are always forking over a lot of money for Hearthstone to actively take things away from us. And honestly, I just wanted to make this video in order to analyze this trend right here, because I really want to say directly to Blizzard that you guys really have got to stop doing this. This is getting absolutely ridiculous how every single time a new game mode comes out, there's a new controversy that comes out about how players literally can't play the game because they don't have gold, they don't have resources, and they don't have anything except for their wallets in order to keep them in tune with the game. I just really am sick and tired of how constant and how just this always seems to happen. And I don't really have anything to say other than I know that they knew this stuff before it even happened. Like, how can you not? You took away every single source of gold for players to where the only way that they can get gold is by rolling a literal 5 to 10%. It's completely ridiculous. And honestly, it's just, you guys knew what was wrong before any feedback was given, so how can you sit here and say thank you for the feedback when you knew exactly what we were going to be complaining about? I'm so tired of this cycle every single time a new Hearthstone game mode comes out, because now we're not focused on the game mode, we're focusing on literally everything else except for how is the game fun? Is the game entertaining? Is this a new way of playing Hearthstone that maybe I could make content about? I can get people engaged one way or another. I'm just so sick and tired of all of the controversy that surrounds these new game modes, because all they seem to be doing is suckling all of our resources. So it's just like, I feel like I needed to say something about this because I am getting absolutely unbelievably annoyed that I feel like every single time there's an update where gold numbers are changed, where experience gets changed, I always have to think about the shadow cabal of the executives or the people that are pulling the strings, and it's like, wow, they are really doing everything they can in order to maximize how much time people spend on this game, and what they seem to believe is that if we take away things, they'll play more. That is not what is going to happen. If you keep taking away these resources that make people actually enjoy the game, they are not going to come back. They are just going to leave, and you have so many people that have played Hearthstone that think the meta is shit, that think the balance is absolutely never there. And it's just like, at what point are they going to come back to the game if you just keep taking things away from them? There's a lot of negativity that's surrounding the game, and it feels like the only time that people seem to be positive about the game is whenever there's a new update or whenever there's like a new expansion on the rise. And this is a little bit of a different rant, but I feel like I need to bring this in here just to kind of talk about why people are so unhappy and why they are focusing on these things, is because it really feels like every single time there's a new balance patch, there's like a new update, it really doesn't matter, but we have new cards on the rise, and now we have to wait for a month for these new cards to be released, and it's just like, it's a cycle, dude. It's getting to the point where it is almost predictable, laughably predictable, what can happen when Blizzard releases new content or releases a new game mode. Now, I really don't have anything to suggest except, Blizzard, please, for the love of God, if you're going to make any sort of adjustments, you need to be aware that this is going to be beneficial to the players, and we need to stop believing that we're getting a victory here, like this post, like on Reddit. Hey guys, I think we won. No, we didn't win. People are out of resources, they're out of gold, people are out of tavern tickets. There may have been some people that really didn't want to make a purchase that now felt pressured to make a purchase, and I am just so sick of this trend that I had to rant. I had to say something about it. There's really not much else to say about this situation, but god damn it, Hearthstone, please stop taking things away from the players and then acting like a savior when you say that you're listening to feedback. You knew exactly what was going on from the very beginning, and I am just so unbelievably tired of how predictable and how absolutely disrespectful this is for free-to-play players. Now, I have some other content planned. I have a Mill Warlock video, I have a Priest video, and maybe something else down the line planned. So I am actively working on stuff, but God, man, is it really rough playing Hearthstone until the new content comes out. But yeah, that's really all I have to say.